Greetings and welcome to episode 301 of the Words About Games podcast. You know what? We'll get that's not my usual intro. I scuffed the intro. We're just going to keep going. We'll get into it. I'm your host, Amy K. Alexander. I'm joined this week by. Is it Elf Daughter on YouTube or is it Elf Daughter Craft?
Elf Daughter now. I've
It's
changed
Elf
it back to
Daughter.
Elf
I'm
Daughter.
joined by April. April White, who is back on YouTube at Elf Daughter. A YouTube channel you should definitely follow.
Thank you very much. I've literally re-uploaded one video.
Hey, one. That's everything starts with one.
True.
Every YouTube channel that ever existed started with one video. So you're on your way.
It's the start.
It's the start. How's it going?
Fine. Yes. It's going basically.
It's going. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
You good?
Yeah. Not too bad. Been one of those weeks, just where all the days blur into one.
Yeah, I never have that. I was talking to my friend last night about that, where it's just like, oh man, like time goes so quickly, and I'm like, I've never experienced this. I don't understand when people are like, oh man, like, where did that month go? Like, for example, like, I can't believe it's already April, and I'm just like, I don't know. Maybe I can just see the code of the Matrix. Time moves pretty
Yeah,
consistently for
that's
me.
it. That's exactly what it is.
Like at all times, I'm just like, time. Like, I don't know. It's like, wow. So I was having a great day today.
Until
Yeah, I went out to the park and saw waterfalls on a spooky bridge. Got some sun. And then I came home and I was like, oh, I'm feeling a bit ropey. Let me just do a COVID test. I'm sure it's fine. It's not fine. It's not. It's here. 2 lines,
double line.
baby.
Ooh.
So I have COVID.
The spicy flu.
I had such a good fucking week planned. I was supposed to be going on a date on Wednesday.
Ooh.
I know, right? And then I was getting my nose pierced on Thursday.
Uh-huh.
And someone messaged me and was just like, well, if you test negative by then, you could just go. And I was like, yeah, I'm not going to do that. But like, oh yeah, great first impression if I go on a date with someone. Well, sorry I gave you COVID, but I tested negative. So I didn't do anything wrong. No, we're just gonna
Yeah.
skip that.
Yeah.
Reschedule. The nose piercing, I'm fucking pissed about because I was supposed to get it a few weeks ago. I rescheduled it for this week.
God slow.
And now I'm not. I'm gonna have to reschedule it again. On the plus side, though, I'll have money.
Yeah, that's a plus. That's a plus.
Buy myself something nice.
Hey, just to think of all those games that you could play this week.
Yeah. Well, secret projects aside, that might be accelerating somewhat. I don't know. Like, I don't feel that bad. Like, I've never had COVID before, so
No.
I don't know what to expect. Like, other than what people have told me. But like, my throat's a bit rough and I was a bit warm. But like, I'd been out in the sun all day, so like, I was just like, oh, I'm probably like, my chest was really warm. And I was like, yeah, but I was literally wearing like what I'm wearing now out. So I was like, it's probably just because I've been out in the sun for hours. Like we walked like all of Chesman Dean, and then it was like, all right, well, we could turn around and walk back because like and get where we got off the bus. So we just walked to town. So we just walked to town from there, and it was like, oh yeah, shit. That's actually it's not a long walk. But it's not a short walk.
No, it's not. It's not.
Somewhere in the middle. As Phil might say.
In the middle. With apple knives.
With apple knives. By yourself with apple knives. Might finally be able to catch up on like editing highlights videos.
Yep.
We'll see. Like I'll probably wake up tomorrow and not be able to move or some shit. Like fucking not even get the benefits of like being away from people.
Yeah.
Jesus. So what are you doing? I'm going to live vicariously through everybody around me. So what are you doing this week?
Apart from going to a job interview, not
Sure,
much.
sure, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And everybody out there who's listening to this before Tuesday to like manifest all positive energy and send it like to
Thank you.
Elfie.
Thank you.
Because Elfie has a job interview. We need everything crossed. We need all the vibes, all the energies, everything
Everything.
has to
Yep.
go Elfwoods. Elfwoods?
Elfwoods? That's yep. That
I
works.
mean, hey, if you say that works, then I'm that works. Banter. That's what it says in the show notes.
It actually does.
Well, people like this. Like when like me and Moody started, like because we started the podcasts, and we'd just be like, oh, you know, how you doing? Yeah, I'm good. How you doing? Yeah, I'm all right. And then we just get in straight on with it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like we slowly just started like talking like more and more about like whatever the fuck we felt like.
Yeah.
To the point where we were like 10, 15 minutes. The first 10, 15 minutes of the podcast was just about whatever bollocks we wanted to talk about.
Hey, it works.
And then, yeah, like people were like when I was asking people, I told people like that there's people who were like, oh, no, it's really good. I really like that part where you just shoot the shit. I was like, all right, cool. Well, I guess I'll keep it. I guess I'll keep that part. That's cool. Like, I know one person who literally comes in to listen to this bit, the first part, and then like the last bit of the podcast, because we usually do a bit more bollocks talking and then listen to it at the end, and like doesn't listen to any of the rest of it. And I was like,
Fair enough.
I do say in the intro, like, we don't mind how you listen. We're just happy that you're here.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I'm just happy that people are here, right? Like,
Yeah.
If that's all you want to listen to, then by all means, listen to that. I'm a bit miffed I'm missing Doctor Who, though. Like, I now have to stay away from Twitter and stuff because I don't want any spoilers.
Yeah.
I fucking hate that shit, man. Like, can't people just not spoil things? Like,
It's fun to spoil things, apparently.
just like, all right, so like, because I've got things to do,
Exactly.
I have to avoid social media until I've seen the episode because you can't not talk about everything in fucking grand, great detail.
Exactly. It's like Critical Role, so a lot of people can't watch that live on Twitch, and they upload onto YouTube, but later, much later.
Sure, because it takes time, right? Like,
it's about I think it's about a week later they normally upload onto YouTube. But of course, straight after the show's aired on Twitch, people are on Twitter going, "Oh my god, so and so's happened." It's like, I haven't watched it yet. Give us a chance.
It's like, I get it, right? Because like, you know, you watch stuff and you're excited because you're invested in it. But like, literally, I don't know, like just saying like, "Oh my god, like." Did you like critical like OMG critical role whatever? But then it's like you're just recapping the events of the thing. It's like, okay, great, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, like at the same time, like most times I'm not really that bothered by spoilers. Like I don't know. I had like there's plenty of games I've been streaming where people come in in the chat and they're just like, "Ooh, spoilers," and I'm just like, I don't really care.
Yeah. Especially when it's stuff like that, because it's always different when you might know what's coming up, but it's different when you're actually experiencing it yourself.
Yeah, that's true.
Like,
that's true. It's just like, yeah, I don't know. Like, I was talking to Moody about this a while ago. I don't think it was on a podcast, but might have been, where it was just like, I don't like, I feel like some TV shows or like whatever, movies, games, just do like plot twists for the sake of plot twists.
yes,
And
absolutely.
then it's just like, it's all about the surprise, where it's just like, I'm not really that bothered about the surprise. Like when the surprise is cool and stuff, but I'm just like, I'm more here for like a cool story. Like,
yeah.
If I predict everything that's going to happen before it happens, but the story's still really cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I still enjoyed it, so.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I had The Last of Us Part 2 spoiled, and it was still one of my favorite games of
There you go.
2020, you know, like, thanks, Internet.
Yeah.
I never get that as well. Like people are so desperate to like because that game leaked. Like tons of plot details for that game leaked before it came out, like months before it came out, and everybody was like going out and reading them and sharing them and talking about them. And I was just like, why though? Like, are you like if you are in this, if like you are like a person who like is bothered by spoilers, like why would you? Like, I don't get the fascination of knowing like parts of the story before you play it. Like, just
Yeah, yeah.
that's why I barely watch game trailers anymore.
It's it's like taking stuff out of context. It doesn't mean anything until you've actually seen it's part of the whole.
Exactly, and like okay, so this happens, very great, but like. But
Yeah.
like, it would have been a better moment if I'd have experienced it in the game, like
Yeah,
before, with
yeah,
like without
exactly.
any pre-knowledge of it happening. But at the same time,
Yeah.
it's just like I don't know. It's just like we have this fascination with knowing everything, or
Yeah.
like before we actually sit down and do the thing. And it's like just sit down and do the thing and enjoy it. I don't get it. Like I don't get it. But yeah, maybe this is just me being like an older person.
No, I completely get it too.
Like I don't know, just seems counterproductive.
Exactly. Yeah.
That was the word I was
Exactly the same
actually
thing.
looking for. This isn't going to be a good podcast. I thought about just texting you because I sent our D&D group chat the picture of the test and being like, might not make it this week. And then I was tempted to just be like, maybe I should just stop, not cancel the podcast. And then I was like, nah, because one, I don't feel that bad. And two, it'll be funnier if I do it.
Good enough reason.
Yeah, I can see. It's fine. Should we start the show?
Might be an idea.
Oh, it's going to go very, very badly wrong. This is the Words About Games podcast. Every Monday, you can get a video version of the show on youtube.com/wordsaboutgamesuk or an audio version on a variety of platforms, including Anchor, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, and a few platforms that we've never even heard of before. That joke only really worked the first time because it's like, even though I've now heard of them because I've seen them in the list. But like, I don't know, like I've never clicked on them, so I guess it's still
Technically, you haven't heard them. So technically,
good thinking, Batman. There's timestamps in the description wherever you choose to get your podcast, so you can see what we've been chatting about. You can skip around the podcast, or you can watch the whole thing backwards. We don't mind. We're just happy that you're here. If you'd like to support the show or our content directly, you could buy us a coffee over at... I never know how to pronounce this. It's coffee. It's the website coffee, but it's like co-fee. Sounds weird. .com/wordsaboutgames. And lastly, if you want to hang out with us while we play some games, head over to twitch.tv/wordsaboutgames. And, you know, we make videos on YouTube talking about games as well. I was like, we do reviews very occasionally. We had a big long talk, me and Rudy, about game reviews. Like, not necessarily like words about game reviews, just game reviews in general, and how they're like they're probably like some of our biggest videos on YouTube. Because I think like things with the word review in them just generally like do well. But paradoxically, I don't think many people are watching reviews or reading reviews who haven't already played the thing.
that's true. I think, yeah.
So it's like, because we were talking about this, because obviously, like, I'm going to be vague and mysterious here. In fact, you might just have to talk. Well, let's just talk about reviews for a bit, because, like, yeah, it's a light news week anyway. Like, obviously, where, as in, like, me and Moody are doing some stuff on the channel that's like changing our focuses and stuff. Especially with Moody, like, well, I mean, not being available as much.
Hence.
But yeah, like we were talking about like just reviews in general, and it's just like what's the value of putting a review up? a review out of a game. And like I like talking about video games. So like if I play a game and I'll fucking ramble on about it on a YouTube video, like whatever, and call it a review. Just to try and get a few extra clicks. Sure. Right, okay, cool. But like I don't know, like, or what do you think? What do you think of all of the mess of the sentences that I just slammed together?
I think you're right. I think a lot of people who do watch the reviews have already played it. I think they tend to watch them for just different takes on the game, I guess. I think that's where your retrospective videos go down well as well. Although they're called retrospectives, they might not get as many clicks for that because of the name.
Tell that in a Mass Effect Andromeda video.
Yeah. But yeah, I think you're right. I think people who click on the views do tend to be people who've already played the game. I think people who want games tend to watch trailers more than they watch reviews. I think for the most part.
Yeah.
Whether they're scared of spoilers or what, I don't know, but I think that tends to be where their focus lies rather than in reviews.
Fair. Yeah, because like I feel like people watch reviews to see what, like the things that they think, like maybe being replicated in something. Because even I say,
exactly.
Like I don't go near reviews until I've already done my own.
Yeah.
Because like in my head, I don't want to have other people's like words in my head when I'm then sitting down to write a review, because then like am I subconsciously like remembering like a thing someone said in a review and then writing that down, like even though our opinions are similar, it's just like bordering on plagiarism or some shit. But yeah, it's just like I was thinking, like, because the thing I think I was thinking about this mostly with the Elden Ring review, which obviously like came out way later than the game came out, because and Moody was pestering me about it. He was just like, just do the review. I mean, you've played loads of the game. And I was like, no, but I'm not going to do it until I've finished it. I'm like, why not? Because I want to fucking finish it. Like, I know 2
hours in and I haven't finished it.
Yeah. I know I've played enough of it.
200 hours.
Yeah, 200, not 2.
200 hours in and I still haven't finished it.
I know the any percent world record is 6 minutes and 59 seconds, Alfie, but it's a bit bigger for a casual playthrough. But yeah, like I was totally like I was writing down the stuff and I was just like, well, I can't even really go into detail about a ton of stuff, because people who click on reviews and they get spoiled for stuff tend to get a bit salty about that. And I understand that. Like if I clicked on a review to see if I thought, like, to see what someone thought of a game and they were like spoiling everything, I'd be like, well, this is fucking bullshit, man. Like I spoiled one thing in my Elden Ring review, and it was how I killed Fire Giant, and the only reason I spoiled it was because they'd patched it out by the time I did my review, so no one could do it anyway. So I figured that was like fair game or whatever, but like I don't know, like I feel like if I'd done the full analysis of Elden Ring, that would have been a better video, and it's just more fun to do that. Like I was talking to you about yesterday about an absurdly specific like thing about a video game for a video that I'm making, and I was just like, and I was like, that's way more fun to talk about, and that's the kind of analysis you're not going to get in like a review of me, like, oh, my 10-minute review of Kirby, you know, like so like I don't know, like I have more fun analyzing video games in a very deep way, as opposed to like reviews feel surface level.
Yes, definitely agree with that.
Yeah, and we definitely need to, like, if you ever finish Elden Ring, we need to actually like do that discussion video, like 400 hours of gameplay from now when you finally finished it.
Yeah. I'm getting there. Getting closer.
That's good. Hey, you know what? Like, take your time. Like, who gives a shit? Like, okay, I finished the game.
I'm just enjoying exploring the world, honestly. I'm just exploring the world.
Like, everybody plays games differently as well. That's another part of, like, reviews being, like, a bit bullshit now. Like, and I feel like... I don't know what the value of a review is anymore. Because, like, I mean, I have problems with, like, OpenCritic, Metacritic, where it's like it takes the scores and then it mushes them all together and says, here's the average, because that's ridiculous.
Yep.
Like,
Yep.
and not indicative of anything. Like, the words of the review. Like, I always go back to this example where I was on a podcast, Keith was there, and I was reviewing Neo, the original Neo, and I was like, this game is amazing. And funny enough, we did review scores back then, so I gave it a 10 out of 10. And I was like saying like how good the game was, going into like all the different reasons why, and I was saying, but like I peppered the review with probably like half a dozen references to the fact that this game is like a Dark Souls game and is pretty fucking difficult. And then Keith like deleted the entire review words that I'd said to him from his head, remembered the 10 out of 10 part, and then when he bought his PS4, instead of getting Horizon Zero Dawn with it, which is one of the options, he got Neo. And then I was like, you got Neo? That's interesting. I didn't think those were your types of games. Well, you gave it a 10 out of 10. And I was like, yeah, but did you hear what all the other stuff I said? And then he played it a bit and he was like, oh my God, this is really hard. I'm not really enjoying this. And I was like, I know. Like,
Kind of said that, yeah.
I would have, like, I mean, I would have, like, if you'd have asked, I would have been like, no, don't get Neo. Neo is a hard game.
Yeah.
And I'm not like disparaging Keith's skill level or anything. It's just
No.
I know he doesn't like that kind of thing.
I'm actually surprised how much I've enjoyed Elden Ring, because I didn't think I'd enjoy a Souls-like game, but this is the first one I've ever really sort of played. Love it, absolutely love it.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Like, yeah, it was that moment where I fucking, oh my God, I feel so responsible for so many people getting this game. Like, because you were getting it because of me, and Ruthless, who's a regular in our Twitch chat, is getting it because I was streaming it and she liked the look of it. And Moody's going to try it because I've been not talking about it nonstop, and I'm just like, so many people are going to like, and I'm trying to be like, I'm not responsible for this. They're adults. They can make their own decisions. Like people my day job were picking it up because I was talking about it, and I'm just like, everybody's responsible for their own choices. If they don't like it, that's not my fault. But it's cool to see you get into it. Like,
Yeah.
someone very cool and smart and wise once made a retrospective about a video game called Bloodborne. Back in I think it was like 2021. And like, yeah, like the premise of that video is something I try to talk about with people, but I don't think it breaks through the marketing of like Dark Souls, because like the first Dark Souls game like was marketed as like prepare to die. Like even the PC version was called the Prepare to Die edition, and like sure they are challenging games, as you yourself no doubt know. You've played Elden Ring. But like they're not hot, they're not difficult, because I feel like I feel like I made a distinction between like difficulty and challenge. You just have to beat the game halfway.
Learning, I think a lot of it, having the patience and learning.
Yeah, it's just like you have to learn the game, and there's like whatever your like unless you need unless I should qualify this with unless you need accessibility options, like, you know, which they don't have, which I've always been arguing that they should have. Apart from that, like you have like whatever your weaknesses are in a Souls game, there's a way to like make up for that in every game. Like Elden Ring is especially like because it's an open world. There's so many options in Elden Ring.
Yes, absolutely.
But like they all have that. Like all of the games have that. You just have to, once you figure the game out, it's still like you have to pay attention and you have to like learn, like you say. But it's never like fucking, I don't know, I'm trying to think of an actually like ridiculously hard game like fucking Super Meat Boy. Where it's just like you have to have good reflexes to play that game. Like you can you can build your character in a Souls-like game to like make up for the fact that you don't have good reflexes if you want, like
Yeah,
if you need to.
that's what I've done.
Yeah, exactly, right? You
I'm
armor,
terrible
shields,
at dodging.
health.
Yeah.
Like, if you're bad at dodging, just don't dodge. Just do something else. Block, parry.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, and that's the. But I think like because of the way the first Dark Souls was marketed, and then the way the fandom kind of grew around that marketing, like the people just look at those games and get intimidated by them like straight away, like I did. Like I talked about it in the video. Like I was intimidated to play any of them, so I just didn't. And then I played Bloodborne, and I was like, "Holy shit! Like I get this game."
Yeah.
And you were there. You saw me stream
Yes.
it for the first time, just being like, going from this is going to be really funny because I'm going to die a bunch to actually I'm fucking murdering the shit out of everybody.
Yes. It's like I know another streamer on Twitch who's only just started to play Bloodborne. And I believe it's the first Dark Souls game that she's playing. She's fallen in love with it so much that she's planning on getting a Bloodborne tattoo.
That's awesome. I also want a
It's
Bloodborne
incredible.
tattoo. That's cool. Like Bloodborne, I think is a good one to start with, because
Definitely one on my list to play.
I watched another YouTuber's video. H Bomber guy did a Bloodborne video many years ago, in which he talked about like Bloodborne is a good tutorial for Souls games in general because it removes the shield. There's no shield in Bloodborne, which you have in Dark Souls 1 to 3. So you have to you're like, because you can play Dark Souls 1 and like the first thing you pick up like in that game is a shield that blocks like 95% of all damage. So like most people play Dark Souls 1 and they've got the shield and they're doing the blocks and stuff, and then like, and I can attest to this because this is what happened to me, and then like maybe bounce out of the game because they're like, oh, it's really slow, like, and the combat's really slow, where it's just like Bloodborne forces you to play in the opposite direction, where it's like dodging and parrying with the gun that you get.
Wow. I need to play that.
It's such a good game, Melfi. It's one of my favorite games, like, of all time.
Yeah, I need to play it.
What were we talking about? Oh yeah, reviews.
Total tangent.
No, I love it. Like, I started injecting this stuff into the podcast, like, when it comes up naturally, because it's just like, fuck it, it's just a conversation. Like, we like conversations here.
Exactly.
But yeah, I'm gonna start teasing my my massive, ridiculous project that I'm working on. It's spiraled so far out of control. Like,
I'm not surprised.
it was meant to just be one game.
Yeah.
Now it's more than that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I don't know. Like, there's a conversation to be had about like game reviews and like their function in 2022 when like game developers and game publishers like talk directly to the fans now via like streams and videos and Q&As, and there's like multiple avenues you can do it. Like, you can talk to them, and then like if you want to see what a game's all about, maybe you don't even watch a review. You could just go to Twitch, type the name of the game in, and like there's fucking thousands of people streaming it.
Yeah.
And you can just go and watch some gameplay. And I feel like gameplay is definitely better than like watching someone play Elden Ring for 5 minutes is probably going to give you more information than me trying to explain Elden Ring. Like, what is it? A picture's worth 1,000 words.
Yeah.
So I guess a stream is worth 1,000 words. Reviews. There's you can make that work somehow. A stream is worth 1,000 reviews.
Yes.
Fucking nailed it. I have COVID, by the way, for anybody who's just like skipped into this section of the video for some reason. Every time I fuck up all through this video, I just be like, sorry, I have COVID. Should we do some actual news? That was a fun chat, though. We had a fun chat.
It was, yeah.
That was a fun chat. Let's have a look what we got. SOC Investment Group pens letter to Activision Blizzard shareholders to reject the Microsoft deal. This is from Jeffrey Rousseau over at gamesindustry.biz, who writes, on Thursday, the SOC Investment Group released a letter asking Activision Blizzard shareholders to vote against Microsoft's purchase of the Call of Duty maker. As reported by VGC, the stockholder meeting to vote for or against the acquisition is set for April 28th. The merger can't go through unless a majority vote is reached. The SOC said in the letter, quote, this transaction fails to properly value Activision and its future earnings potential, in significant part because it ignores the role that the sexual harassment crisis and the Activision board's incompetent handling of it has played in delaying product releases and depressing the share price, end quote. The SOC Collective added that the deal shouldn't go through in lieu of the workplace allegations the gaming firm has faced. They went on to say, quote, we do not believe that Activision shareholders should be looking to a transaction to rebuild the value lost by Activision's management's failure to ensure workplace safety and equity, and by the board's failure to respond constructively to the burgeoning crisis, end quote. This isn't the first time that the SOC Investment Group has been vocal about Activision Blizzard. Last year, the collective said that the game's publisher's executives needed to be held accountable for its alleged toxic working culture. I think you were here when we did that.
Yep.
Literally, like, so every time the SOC says something, I guess we're just bringing in our SOC Investment Group expert. Like, come on in.
Yeah. Well, they're completely right about the fuck up that Activision's made.
Oh, yeah, I mean, like, they were right when it was like, hey, accountability, maybe that should be a thing, and it's not. Like, I mean, 1 month later, and it's not. And I feel like, I don't know, like, I've never really accused, like, capitalists of being, maybe it's a bit too optimistic, but, like, if they're thinking, like, they can tank the merger and then somehow, like,
Magically.
everybody who needs to be held accountable will be held accountable. It's like, it's not gonna happen. Like, sorry.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's not going to happen. The only thing we can hope for is that with the merger, things will change that way. But I mean, that's wishful thinking as well, perhaps. But
Wishful thinking. That's the words I was looking for. I've called it. I'm sorry. Like the SOC, it's wishful thinking. Yeah, you nail on the head. It's like, oh yeah, well, like could the merger not go through for any number of reasons? Like people keep talking to me like, oh, but it will definitely go through, and I'm like, well,
will it though?
there are U.S. senators who want it like really thoroughly investigated, and it might be a anti-monopoly violation, and now there's an investment group that are trying to tank it. So, like, I mean, there's a lot of hurdles being put in the way of this merger.
Yeah.
Well, I'd say it's likely that it'll still happen. Like, I mean, there's good potential for it to not happen. Like. But I don't think, like, if the SOC Investment Group is really interested in accountability, I think they need to be pushing for accountability separate of trying to sink the merger, because, like, if the merger goes through, sure, Bobby Kotick will get fucking a ridiculous amount of money and then just be allowed to walk away, like, without repercussions. But, like, if the merger doesn't go through, he's going to continue to be the CEO of the company, earn a ridiculous sum of money, and have zero repercussions.
Yes. It's finding the best solution to a bad problem, really, isn't it?
Yeah, like
nothing's going to be perfect, but
no, God no. Like, unfortunately, we live under capitalism, and capitalism will kill us all eventually. But like the best case realistic scenario is to just like hopefully because we don't even really know, like, what if they go to Microsoft and Microsoft does nothing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is something people don't like me pointing out, because Microsoft is everybody's faves at the minute. Like, you know, I keep pointing out that, like, they might not be that great of a company either, guys.
Yeah.
I don't really know.
No.
I'm kind of hoping against hope.
The fact that they are trying to take over is no guarantee that it's going to be a better working culture than Activision.
Yeah. I mean, we talked about, me and Moody talked about it. the State of Decay developer, which is a
Yeah.
Microsoft-owned development studio, which has had issues, and then like the Initiative, not that long ago, who are making Perfect Dog, is like they've had not workplace culture problems as far as we know, but like their studio pretty much falling apart from people leaving. So like I don't know, like I said to Moody, like I'm a bit sus
Yes.
of these two
Yes.
stories coming out quite close together, and it's
Yes.
like I wonder, okay.
Yeah.
But like in an ideal scenario, like like the people who perpetrated all of the horrific things that we learned about Activision Blizzard, like would be held accountable. But I think the most realistic, best case scenario, air quotes, that we can hope for is like if the merger does go through and they clean house, and like
Yeah.
you know what, if Bobby Kotick leaves. And like all of the executives currently at Activision Blizzard who are shit people, like leave, and they get shitloads of money, but they're gone, and like we can
Yeah.
create a better working environment for the people who work at Activision Blizzard, then I'll take that win.
Yeah. Exactly. Exactly.
Like I'm not gonna hope that these people somehow continue to perpetrate a toxic workplace culture just so Bobby Kotick and the rest don't get massive sums of money, because you know what, like that's capitalism. They're gonna get massive sums of money no matter what.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Maybe the problem is capitalism.
I wonder.
Can't wait until like more people, like you see it, like every now and again you do see someone make that realization, like connect the dots, finally connect the dots and realize that actually the problem
Yes.
is capitalism.
Yep.
And it's always fun to watch the light bulb turn on. And be like, yes, welcome in. Come on.
Yes. Come to our side. Come.
Now, what are we going to do about it?
Yeah.
Because, planet's dying, Cloud. Shall we move on? Still got an Activision Blizzard story. Speaking of how terrible capitalism is, fate of Activision Blizzard lawsuit unclear as California lawyer accuses governor of interference. This is from Nicole Carpenter over at Polygon. He writes, a lawyer with California's Department of Fair Housing and Employment has resigned after accusing Governor Gavin Newsom of interfering with the state's Activision Blizzard lawsuit, according to a Bloomberg report. The lawyer, Melanie Proctor, worked as Assistant Chief Counsel for the DFEH and told staff on Tuesday night she was resigning after her boss, Chief Counsel Jeanette Whipper, was fired by the governor, Bloomberg reports. The two lawyers left the Activision Blizzard lawsuit earlier this month, according to court documents filed April 5th. A representative for the lawyers confirmed to Bloomberg that Proctor resigned and that Whipper was fired. With the two top lawyers off the Activision Blizzard case, the fate of the lawsuit becomes unclear. Bloomberg reports that Proctor told staff that Newsom, quote, began to interfere, end quote, with the Activision Blizzard lawsuit, and that his interference began mimicking the interests of Activision's counsel. Why is there a quote there? Oh, because I missed the quote. I have COVID, I'm sorry. Whipper was fired after, quote, attempting to protect, end quote, the DFEH's investigation, Bloomberg said. A spokesperson for Whipper told Bloomberg she's, quote, evaluating all avenues of legal recourse, including a claim under the California Whistleblower Protection Act, end quote. The DFEH told Polygon that it does not comment on personnel matters and said that the department will, quote, continue to vigorously enforce California's civil rights and fair housing laws, end quote. Newsom's communications director, Aaron Mellon, told Polygon in an email statement, quote, the claims of interference by our office are categorically false, end quote. Mellon continued, quote, the Newsom administration supports the effective work DFEH has done under Director Kevin Kish to enforce civil rights laws and protect workers, and will continue to support DFEH in their efforts to fight all forms of discrimination and protect Californians, end quote. Then there was an update to the story, which was tagged on, so I put it on the end. Following publication, DFEH Director Kevin Kish issued a statement regarding Bloomberg's report, quote, in recent years, under this administration or my leadership, DFEH has litigated groundbreaking cases that are a model of effective government enforcement of civil rights. We continue to do so with the full support of the administration. Our cases will move forward based on the facts, the law, and our commitment to our mission to protect the civil rights of all Californians, end quote. That was a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah, that was a lot.
Yeah, that was a lot.
Keith used to say on this podcast, right, whenever we used to talk about lawsuits, the only people who win when two companies sue each other are the lawyers.
Yeah. I really only have two words that come to mind after reading and listening to all that. Fuck Activision.
Blizzard. Fuck Activision Blizzard.
Fuck Activision. Oh, well, okay, that's three, technically, I guess.
I keep you right, don't worry. Yeah, whether this is or isn't true, I mean, I'll couch the entire. I'm gonna make this section of the podcast litigation proof by couching the entire thing with we don't know if this is true or not, and this is all speculation. Please don't sue us. Thank you.
Alleged, yeah.
Alleged. Mm-hmm. But this is just like they're denying it. Of course, they would deny it because they have to deny it. People seem shocked. Well, no, actually, a lot of my Twitter timeline just kind of died like a sigh.
Yeah.
It was like a collective sigh on Tuesday of just fucking hell.
Yes. Yes.
Because this, to anyone who might be surprised after hearing all of that Activision Blizzard is allegedly being helped against their lawsuit by the governor of California. This is how the system functions. Activision Blizzard is a very rich company, and they will spend money and influence in whatever ways that they can to avoid having to admit that they did wrong things.
Yeah,
this is what they do, and it's not just them. They're companies. This is what massive companies do.
It's all about that.
Exactly. They have massive influence because they have a lot of money.
Yeah.
Bobby Kotick donates to politicians. Donates huge sums of money to politicians that he agrees with, or that he can leverage those donations for influence.
Yeah.
That
it happens, as you say, that happens with all companies all over the world, but it's just capitalism again.
It's grimy, isn't it? It's fucking. It makes you feel wrong.
It makes you feel sick.
Yeah, because it's oh yeah, allegedly, but
yeah.
I mean, I believe it.
Yeah.
I'd be surprised if this wasn't happening.
Yes. Yes. Quite frankly.
Yeah, if they turned out that this the governor's office in California wasn't helping Activision Blizzard, I'd be surprised.
Yeah.
To the point where two lawyers one lawyer has quit and one got fired. The full story of Bloomberg's worth a read. I did go through it, and there's a lot more sort of from the two lawyers who were formerly working on the case, Melanie Proctor and Jeanette Whipper, especially the one who quit in the statement, because I think they got her full statement on there, and she talks about the other councils, they would the governor's office would be continuously asking for updates on the case, and then all of a sudden it certainly started to seem like their goals were more aligned with Activision Blizzard's. I think is roughly the words that they used.
Yes. Strange that, isn't it?
Wild. Can't believe it.
Yeah.
But this is just fucking Activision Blizzard being Activision Blizzard. And fucking corporations being corporations and politicians being politicians. And
yep.
Fuck them.
Yep. Yeah.
Shall we move on?
Yes.
I'm checking a drink. Sorry.
Right.
My throat's a bit raw.
Don't blame me.
Yeah. Bungie goes digital first and offers remote roles in the US. This is from Danielle Partis over at gamesindustry.biz, who writes, Bungie has started to roll out fully remote positions in selected US states as part of a pivot to digital working. In an announcement, the developer said it is now approved to hire remote workers in Washington, California, Oregon, Illinois, Florida, North Carolina, and Texas. The jobs are spread across a number of disciplines across Bungie flagship title Destiny 2, as well as an unannounced project. CEO Pete Parsons said, quote, over the past 2 years, we have redefined how we work at Bungie. The transition to work from home wasn't easy, but the results speak for themselves. Today, it's clear that a digital-first workplace isn't the future of work, it is already here, and we're all in, end quote. The company is also offering employees the opportunity to go back to the physical office, but staff are not being forced to, according to community manager Liana Ruppert. Ruppert said in a tweet, quote, Bungie has kept us in the loop throughout the process. While there is an option to go into the office, proof of vax and a health screening is required and provided. Largely there has not been pressure to do so, end quote. In contrast, a recent report revealed that Riot Games is asking its LA-based staff to return to the office, as well as dropping vaccine and mask mandates. The word asking in that final sentence is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Because we talked about this last week or the week before, I can't remember. The word asking isn't really on the table.
No. No. I think Bungie's response there is pretty good. In fact, it's very good. It's giving you the option to do either. It's just basically whichever way their employees feel safe from the looks of it. But Riot, no.
Yeah, that's why I wanted to kind of bring Bungie into this when I read this news story, because we did talk about this on a previous podcast, but we dove into the Riot Games thing, and I got a bit angry about them, and now I have COVID. I'm not saying that's a conspiracy. I'm saying I just proved the point that I was making because I caught COVID.
Yeah. I mean, it's still out there. It's still a thing, and Bungie are absolutely right. The future is in a blend, I think, of working from home and an office space. And
it's also now, that. The future is now, old man.
Exactly. Yeah. That attitude and that response is absolutely the right way to go, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100%. Bungie is basically saying what we said when we talked about Riot, where it's just why? Because that was the question I was kind of asking rhetorically on that podcast. It was Riot saying, well, we have to come back and do this, and there's gonna be no vax mandates, and there's gonna be none of this, and technically we're just following guidelines of the LA County. And I was just but why though? There's no reason for this. I'm assuming all development on League of Legends hasn't stopped for the last 2 years, so you can do this.
Yes.
If people want to work from home during a pandemic, or even not, just in general, if people want to work from home, let them fucking work from home.
Yeah. If anything, this pandemic has proven that work can be done at home, and that people can work from home and still provide, the same level of quality work that they do in the office. And if you can do that, and if you can provide your workers with an environment where they feel safe, comfortable, i.e. at home, then why wouldn't you?
Exactly. Why wouldn't you? Fucking bullshit. Just let people work from home.
Yeah.
And even when they're saying oh, people can come back to the office, it's but you've got to. I'm assuming a health screening is a test.
Yeah.
So it's you got to test, and also you need to be vaccinated.
Yes.
So even if you want to come back to the office and work in the office, Bungie is still going to be well, we're going to make sure you're as safe as we possibly can make you.
Yes.
And this is just. This should just be the template for how companies handle this exact situation.
Exactly.
And we talked because it was Riot and Activision Blizzard both. Surprise, Activision Blizzard. Both trying to bring trying to pressure. I don't know, maybe people to come back into the office, and they were dropping the mask mandate, they were dropping proof of vax requirements, and no one was getting tested. I think it's important to point out something else that we talk about a lot, because this podcast has had to talk about a lot of companies doing a lot of bad things in the past few years. Activision Blizzard, Riot Games, and Bungie have all had allegations of very toxic workplaces, and some really, really bad shit has gone on at all three of them that we've learned about in the last few years. And I think everybody who's been on this podcast, but I'm only going to speak for myself while my head's all fogged up, I have I've always talked about, like, companies will always respond in the same way by saying, oh, like, we fucked up and we're going to do better. Obviously, heavy paraphrasing there. Although it'd be awesome if one company did come out and just say, yeah, we fucked up. But, like, I always say, like, it's in the actions that you learn, not the words. Words are easy. Like, you can put out a statement in, like, half an hour. Like, just whack up something. Copy paste the last company's statement. Change the names. And then send it. Like, and like, that could be job done as far as the company's concerned. But, like, actions do speak louder than words. And when I talk about watching what companies do, like, this is what I'm talking about, where it's like, okay, Riot and Activision Blizzard are trying to get their workers to go back into work and infect them all with COVID. And Bungie's had the opposite response. So that makes me think that in my head, then go, okay, well, like, maybe Bungie's actually also fixing the other shit that they got accused of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, I'm more likely to trust that Bungie's doing the right moves.
Yeah. They actually are trying to be better and do better.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So there's that side of it as well.
Yes.
Although I don't understand, because this is really easy. Like,
yes.
Like, this is such an easy win to not force people to go back into an office with unvaccinated, unmasked people during a pandemic. Is such an easy thing. I don't understand why some companies are deciding, no, we're definitely gonna be absolute shit stands. Like, it's like they don't know how not to be.
Honestly.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
Honestly is a good... Honestly with a sigh. I think that's how my Twitter timeline reacts to a lot of things.
Just like... yeah.
Oh, man, we're here again.
Here we go again. Yeah.
Let me get the fucking pitchforks and torches back out.
Oh, mine are never put away.
I'm just yelling all the time. Maybe it's not so much this week, but, you know.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Yes, I am. I am, in fact, searching for sympathy. I demand it, in fact, from everybody listening to this podcast.
Aww.
I don't want everybody to be like, "Oh, she's doing really well doing this podcast." No, feel sorry for me, pity me. I deserve it.
No.
I have COVID.
Everybody in the chat, in the comments, type R.
Not even "or," just like the letter R.
Yeah. Aw, poor Amy.
But it's halftime, April, and you know what halftime means? It's time for Indie Game of the Week. Moody's really left me carrying the bag on this one because he would be the one to read it. But here I am saying that this week's Indie Game of the Week is Betrayal at Club Law, picked by me because Moody's not here anymore and he doesn't pick games. Tonight, you're on a surprise mission at the inimitable. Thank you. Club Law. This former coffin factory turned nightclub has, for years, been a beacon of nocturnal energy, a haven for wild-limbed dancing, mind-altering music, and shady characters aplenty. It's also a place to prove your skills as an undercover agent. An old colleague is trapped in the club, caught up in an intel-gathering mission with a notorious business captain. Your mission is to sneak into the club incognito and get him out before he blows his cover. Can you do it? Betrayal at Club Law offers up a surreal setting rooted in Cosmo D's previous games, tactile, dice-driven gameplay, and tense decisions at every turn. There are multiple ways to approach your mission and 11 possible endings based on the choices you make along the way. And then what I've just realized is all of these bullet points that I've got here are all basically just what I just said. So we're just going to quietly delete those. Betrayal at Club Law is going to be developed and published by Cosmo D Studios and is coming summer 2022 PC via Steam. There's a link in the description wherever you've got this podcast. So go wishlist it because it seems really cool. And we like to shout about cool indie games here.
That does sound really cool.
It does.
Yeah, that's going on my wish list.
Hell yeah, I love doing that. I like to go on Steam and just look and go, oh yeah. Like every time I do this, whoever I'm on the podcast with adds the game to their wish list, and I'm just like, yeah, it worked.
Yep.
It does look really cool though. I don't know why I've got Steam open, but it's not. It's something completely different. Betrayal at Club Low. Also, it says something about pizza as dice, and I don't get it. But
I saw that. Yeah.
It's like very strange looking game in terms of like its actual. I'm looking at like the Steam page now, like its graphics and its and stuff. Like it's screenshots. That's what I'm looking for. Sorry, I have COVID. Fine time for Moody to bail on the podcast. Yeah, there is pizza in the screenshots. And then there's like wow, okay, this game looks surreal as fuck. Like I'm actually like looking at the screenshots in detail, like the things in the backgrounds and stuff, and I'm like, okay, this is the perfect game. This is the perfect Steam store page to be on when you have COVID, because you're just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? I'm in. Summer 2022. Go click that link in the description. I'm gonna cough. Cover for me.
Okay. While she's coughing, I'm just actually looking it up at the minute. Betrayal at Club Low. Got it. Okay, that looks really surreal. She's absolutely right. And pizza at dice is... yeah. Wow. Alright, that's added to my wish list.
Excellent.
So, how's everyone doing?
I'm back. Sorry.
Yay, good. I
don't feel well.
I can tell. I can tell.
I'm deteriorating rapidly.
Oh, don't make me.
This seemed like a good idea an hour ago.
Yeah.
I don't feel that bad. I'll make it. She might not make it.
Yeah.
But she's going to keep going. Let's continue with the news. Microsoft reportedly looking to put more ads inside Xbox games. This is from Joshua Robertson over at The Gamer. He writes,
why Microsoft?
You might start seeing a few more advertisements pop up in Xbox's free-to-play games soon, as Microsoft is reportedly looking for ad tech companies and ad agencies to help developers sell more ad space. This is according to a new report from Business Insider that claims things like billboards in racing games could soon be used as advertising for real-world products. Insider's sources claim that this change could go live as early as Q3 this year, although Microsoft hasn't confirmed that it's moving ahead with these plans. Microsoft has responded to the report, though, explaining that, quote, it is always looking for ways to improve the experience of players, but doesn't have anything further to share, end quote. It's unknown how intrusive these advertisements are going to be, although Insider claims that Microsoft is fairly worried about irritating players with them. Microsoft also reportedly worried about protecting consumer data, as advertisers would likely want to use the data that the company has stored to specifically target players with certain ads. However, Microsoft is apparently unwilling to let advertisers use this data. As for why the company is allegedly doing this, Microsoft apparently wants to build, quote, an Xbox in-game ad network, end quote, to help support developers making free-to-play titles. Microsoft itself wouldn't be making any money from these ad placements, instead distributing any revenue between the developer of the game the ad is placed in and the ad tech company behind it. It's likely that Microsoft sees adverts as a viable way to fund the upkeep of free-to-play games and is potentially doing this to make the business practice seem more appealing to developers. Like, you know how much money like free-to-play... I know not every free-to-play game makes a shit ton of money, but like free-to-play games make shitloads of money. Like...
Yes.
They don't need to make more money.
No, absolutely not.
Because the only games that are going to benefit from this are games that have a lot of users anyway. So, like, when you look at a free-to-play game, like, what the fuck, are you going to put billboards up in Halo Infinite? Like, how the fuck would you even, like, put... like, the racing game one, I understand. I can get that because, yeah, there are billboards everywhere. And that's not me saying it's a good idea and I support it, but like, how the fuck are you going to put ads in Halo Infinite, a game set 500 years in the future on a sci-fi alien ring world?
And looking to improve the experience of players. How?
I know, right? Like, oh yeah.
How?
Because my... because my Forza Horizon 5 experience is most definitely improved because I've been reminded of the existence of Monster Energy.
Exactly. Exactly.
Like, yeah, that's going to improve my end user
And
experience. Fucking hell.
yeah, reportedly worried about protecting consumer data. Copper, by any chance?
Yeah, well, I mean, the issue there is the issue for Microsoft in that regard is like this is how advertising on the internet works. Like companies get your data and send you like adverts that they think are tailored to your specific tastes. Some of these work really well, some of them don't. Facebook still
Yep. Yeah.
Let's just say it's lagging behind in the kinds of things that it's sending me. Some of these websites are shockingly accurate. That TikTok algorithm had me figured out within 30 minutes when I first logged in. Like, I think it knows things about me that I don't even know. I'm scared. Like, TikTok has a lot of power over me. I'm very worried. I think within 15 minutes of scrolling through TikTok for the first time, TikTok just went, "Oh, lesbians, yes?" And I was like, "Yeah, how did you know?" And it hasn't stopped.
I get videos of ducks. Yeah.
My TikTok is not a wholesome place. But in my defense, neither is my own personal Instagram account. Yeah. Ads in games. We've heard this before, like, happen before. I'm sure like other companies have explored this and it's never really taken hold because again, like, how would this be implemented in most games? Unintrusively, because it was intrusive. I think there was a wrestling game a couple of years ago, where they did like adverts as if like, because you do like the action replays. I might be completely misremembering this. I have COVID, but I'm sure like ads played while that action replays were playing, and it was ridiculously intrusive, and everybody was like, "What the fuck is this shit?" But like, how else would you like do it in, say, like, I don't know, like a free to play game like fucking Fortnite, right? Sure, like put a billboard up and it's got an advert for, I don't know what a game is like, Spam. It's good meat.
Good. It's good meat. Yep.
Rainbow candies. I don't know. But even then, it's like, okay, so let's say there's a billboard with Subway, Eat Fresh, and like people are playing Fortnite, so the chances are they're going to be like more concentrating on the person who's shooting at them than the advert in the sky.
Yes.
So I've never understood I mean, I get it. It's a way to make money. I understand why companies want to do this, but I don't understand how they think they're going to implement it.
Yeah.
It's a lot like the NFT thing, where it's like every now and again a company will just be like, "We're going to do NFTs," and it's like, why though? Because like this has gone so well for everybody else who's tried to do NFTs in the past. Why do you think you're the exception?
Yeah.
Fucking Jesus Christ, stop it. You're not the exception. Nobody wants any NFTs in anything. But yeah. Microsoft is just explaining it's always looking for ways to improve the experience of players. Improve the experience of players. The in-game advertising. Like let's do a thought experiment here, right? Elden Ring.
Yeah.
Sure. You've played 200 hours, I've played 69. Like explain to me how an advert would work in that game. Like, I know it's not a free-to-play game and it's not part of this, but it's the game we've both most recently played. So let's figure this shit out, right? If Elden Ring was a free-to-play action RPG MMO, how would an advert work in Elden Ring?
You'd probably find a message that's, instead of saying finger butthole, will be an adverb. I did wait till you drank that.
Try finger butthole. Try finger but Pepsi. What?
Yes, exactly.
Yes. Yeah, you just like talking to an NPC.
Yeah.
And they're like,
Oh, by the way, I
by the
tried
way,
this.
be like,
Have
oh,
you
I
tried
could
this?
implemented like a YouTube advert, like not the
Yeah.
pre-roll ones, but
The
the ones
sponsorship
people, the
levels. Yeah.
sponsorships where it's like
Yeah. The sponsor shots.
they're so annoying.
This
Oh
quest
Jesus,
sponsored by.
this
Oh
podcast,
yes.
this quest is sponsored by Crunchyroll. Use the code Elden Ring to get a 30-day free trial. It has the largest selection of anime. What the fuck are you talking about, Millicent?
NPC would be dead. Yeah.
I'm gonna stab you now.
Yes.
Jesus. Oh man, like Master Chief just like in Halo Infinite. Because Halo Infinite multiplayer is a free-to-play game.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
Just throwing that out there. So like, you're just fucking running around the ring, and then you come across like two fucking Marines, and they're just chatting away about how much they like Doritos, the new Doritos, fucking I don't know, flaming XXL hot flavor, or whatever the fuck it is. And it's just like, isn't this like game set in like 2552 or something? Like, I don't think Doritos are going to be around for another 5 centuries. Like that's not how society works.
Or one of them stops you mid run and goes, "Oh, hey, Chief, have you tried this new Pepsi?"
Oh yeah, you heal instead of using like health packs or whatever. It's like you use like Red Bull.
Yes.
Throwback to PUBG. Because they had the energy drinks you could use to get like a little bit of health back, and they weren't Red Bull for legal reasons, but the cans looked exactly like Red Bull cans. I think they changed them eventually, but like in early access, I remember that was a thing. Like, I'm trying to think, there was a Death Stranding had some wild fucking thing. Hold on, I need to look it up now. Death Stranding had, I think it was Monster Energy. The fact that Monster Energy was one of the top search. Yeah, Monster Energy is a consumable item, and this is from the Death Stranding wiki. Monster Energy is a consumable item found in private rooms. Drinking it will provide a temporary stamina boost of 10%. Drinking 3 cans will grant a maximum boost of 25%. Literally.
Oh,
There's cans of Monster Energy on a table. And Norman Reedus is just like, yep. The only thing that survived the apocalypse in Death Stranding. Fucking mailman. And Monster Energy.
Sure, why not?
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, literally one of the notes on the wiki says, it is unknown how Monster Energy is still produced following the Death Stranding. And it's like, yeah, right? Like, they're not making it anymore. Are they trying to like subtly imply that Monster Energy is so unpopular that it'll be the only energy drink that is still in plentiful supply after the apocalypse? Like, oh shit, we ran out of Red Bull. But it's fine because nobody likes Monster Energy, so there's still thousands of cans. Oh man, I'm so glad I remembered that. Fucking Monster Energy. Okay, next. Warner Brothers Discovery is reportedly looking to bolster DC's gaming output. This is from Jordan Midler over at VGC. He writes, according to Variety, following the merger of Warner Brothers and Discovery, which will see the new conglomerate taking control of Warner Brothers games, it's claimed that internal discussions are taking place around how to, quote, overhaul, end quote, the DC universe in media, including gaming. Warner Brothers Interactive Entertainment, the group's gaming division, currently has 4 DC gaming projects in development: Gotham Knights, Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, The Wolf Among Us 2, and Wonder Woman. The report also reveals that the company plans to rejuvenate characters such as Superman, and that the company seeks a Kevin Feige-like figure to oversee this expansion. Guys, guys, DC, hey, people in charge of DC. Like, we're going to talk about video games in a sec, but I just want to say, like, you have tried for the last decade to copy the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Stop trying to copy the Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Yes.
Do your own thing. Because you know what? We already have a Marvel Cinematic Universe.
Well, hey, give us another Wolf Among Us. The first one was
That's in
awesome.
development,
I want to play the next one. I know. I want the second one out now.
Yeah. Wonder Woman being developed by the publisher? No. Being developed by Monolith, who made the Shadow of Mordor game, and the other one, Shadow of War. The loot box one.
Yeah.
No, like I want to see more DC characters. Like being like, I'm sure Gotham Knights is gonna be cool. Like it looks alright. I'm interested to try it. It has co-op and stuff. But like, fucking sick of Batman. Like, can I just throw it out there? I'm fucking sick of Batman.
You're not the only one.
Like,
there's so much more to the DC world.
Right?
It's like, yeah, give us more stuff.
But we just keep doing Batman. Like,
yeah.
Spoilers for Batman Arkham Knight, which was the last Batman Arkham game. But like, when they fucking killed Batman at the end of that, I mean, you know, he killed, air quotes, they didn't really, but like, he's pretending to be dead. I was like, finally, maybe we could do something not Batman related. And then they were like, here's Gotham Knights. And I was like, all right, cool. Like, it's all the Batman characters who aren't Batman. Fuck! Come on, man! DC has such a huge roster of characters.
Yeah.
Like, please make a game about any of the other characters.
Yes. Literally any of them.
Right? Shazam. Shazam is a fucking great character. Make a video game about Shazam. The Flash. How cool would a Flash game be?
Oh god, yes. Oh yes.
Superman. Everyone's crying out for a Superman game, and everyone's all like, "But how could you do a Superman game? Because Superman's too overpowered for a Superman game." And I'm here to tell you, anyone who thinks that 4 successive Batman games has broken your brain, Superman wouldn't be beating up some fucking random guy outside of a gargoyle-infested fucking church. He'd be fighting aliens. You would be overpowered, and so would your enemies. And that would be awesome, but because you could also fly and shoot lasers out of your eyes.
Yeah. Yep.
But no. Here's more Batman characters.
God, enough of Batman already. Just, yeah.
And like, it's cool. I'm not really like as bothered as I'm letting on, but would be nice to just not.
Exactly.
That's why I was so excited for the Wonder Woman reveal, even though it was literally a logo on a screen.
Yes.
Because it's just...
Yeah, no.
It's just a nice
something
change of
different.
pace. Yeah, sorry.
Exactly.
We keep waiting for each other to speak and then going, oh, well, and then speaking at the same time. I'm going to stop talking, and I will let you say something now.
I was just going to say, it's just good to have something different. It's not. I'm the same as you. It's not like I don't like Batman. It's not like I'm sick of Batman. It's just there are so many other awesome characters out there in the DC universe, like Wonder Woman, that it would be amazing to get not just one game of, but maybe a completely different franchise from.
Yeah.
I mean, what? How many Batman games have we had now?
Well, I mean, that's a difficult... So, the Arkham games, there were 4.
Yeah, 4.
Batman games in general... Fucking shitloads.
Exactly. It's about time somebody else had a chance to shine.
Yeah. In fact, I need to pee.
Right.
So you talk about some cool DC characters that you know about, and I'm gonna go and do the thing.
Okay. Okay, fine. Okay, DC characters. I have to admit, I'm not that hugely big up on DC characters. Obviously, I know Wonder Woman. I know Superman. But you know, there are. I mean, I'm just going to refresh my memory on some of them because I know there are absolutely loads. Yeah. So obviously, yeah, you got Shazam, like Amy was saying. Green Arrow. That would be cool to have a Green Arrow game. Yeah, there's just so many different ones. But yeah, I think it's probably because Batman is probably one of the most universally loved characters. But
Yeah, that's true. He's like
yeah,
iconic as a
yeah,
superhero. Like probably only Spider-Man, and I would say is probably more iconic.
yeah. I was just saying I would love to see something from like Green Arrow.
That would be
Um,
cool because you wouldn't even need to go that much far away from the Batman template. I mean, the TV show Arrow proved that by basically being a Batman TV show.
yes, yes, yes. Oh God, yeah.
Like you could literally just do Arkham, but with a bow and arrow. Like
Yeah,
there you go, done, nailed it. Next.
yeah, yeah.
I can't wait to see what you said while I was gone.
Yeah, I'm not hugely up on the different DC characters,
Oh, that's fair.
but I had to pull up a list of ones just to remind myself which ones were DC characters,
Sure, sure, sure,
and
sure.
it's just like, oh yeah, that one, oh yeah, that one.
It's one of those things, right? Like, look,
Yeah,
I know the Marvel Cinematic Universe is like far and away the most like popular and successful like thing, and I'm under no illusions that like comics are like the sacrosanct part. Like, I know most people like come into contact with superheroes from TV and movies, but like DC has better characters.
yeah,
They're
oh,
just being
absolutely.
used really badly.
Yes. Oh yeah, I completely agree with that. I mean, like I say, it's hard for me to remember which one's Marvel and which one's DC. But when you remember, when you look at the ones that I do know from DC, it's like, actually, yeah, of course that's DC because they've got a much better storyline to them.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah,
Yeah, and I mean not always, obviously. Like both
there are some that
companies
yeah,
have shit the bed
got
frequently.
but yeah, yeah. But
Yeah,
certainly of the ones I know, it's like, oh yeah, and that's the storyline. Oh yeah,
yeah. And you know what? DC has Harley Quinn. DC wins. Harley Quinn was an awakening for me in many ways.
yeah, yeah. I can see that. I can see
Yeah,
that.
it's like, oh yeah, maybe I don't want to be. Maybe I don't want to like. Maybe I don't fancy Harley Quinn so much as I just want to be like she embodies everything that I
Yeah,
want to be.
she is awesome.
Birds of Prey, one of the best movies I've ever, like superhero DC movies I've ever seen. It's fucking amazing. And Moody's not here. Every time I say that, Moody always fucking goes, no, I didn't like it. Well, guess what, Moody? I'm here to tell you that all the fucking superheroes that were made for you white cis men, like you've got all those. Birds of Prey was for us.
Yes, yes,
And it was awesome. There's a
yes.
fight scene where Canary is doing the thing and her hair's getting in the way because she's got long hair, and Harley Quinn skates past and gives her a hair bobble. That was one of the best moments in a superhero movie I've ever seen. Don't at me.
Absolutely.
Been holding on to that for years. Birds of Prey, fantastic movie.
Brilliant, brilliant.
Anyway. This
You
is
know
certainly...
it's going to come for us both in the comments there.
I don't give a shit. Come for me, Moody. Come for me. Just because I've got a better taste in movies than you. Yeah, I said it. Actually, I'm not just kidding. I watch like 6 new movies a year. I don't rate my taste in movies. But like Birds of Prey is great, and I will die on that hill. Okay. Oddworld, Soulstorm, PlayStation Plus deal, quote, devastating for developer. This is from Victoria Kennedy over at Eurogamer, who writes, while many see the inclusion of their game on Sony's PlayStation Plus service as a real boon, others feel less so. In fact, Oddworld inhabitants Lorne Lanning has revealed that getting Oddworld Soulstorm on PS Plus was, quote, devastating, end quote, for the team. Excuse me. Chatting to Xbox Expansion Pass, Lanning said his team initially thought they would sell roughly 50,000 units of Oddworld Soulstorm, and certainly no more than 100k. The studio is also looking for some financial help to keep the game alive, and as such, when Sony approached the team offering an undisclosed amount of money to put its game on PS Plus for its release month, Lanning took the deal. However, the game's release was delayed by 3 months due to the ongoing effects of the pandemic, and with the game's later release, Lanning said, more people than previously estimated now had access to a PlayStation 5. As a result, Lanning revealed Oddworld Soulstorm was downloaded almost 4 million times through PS Plus, vastly overshooting the team's expectations. Quote, "For us, it was devastating," end quote, Lanning claimed. Following its release on PC and PlayStation consoles in April 2021, Oddworld Soulstorm went on to launch on Xbox in November. Lanning, however, did not disclose how the game's sales compared on Xbox.
Rough for them.
Rip.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. Like, I get it. Like,
Yeah, but they also made that choice to do it at the start, so it's always one of those things where it's a toss up. It's a risk. If you sell to, you do a deal with Sony or Xbox, it could have happened to either of them.
sure.
And it's always either going to, if it performs not as well as expected, then hey, you've made a bonus because you've got the money in the bank for the deal. But if it performs better than expected, well,
Sure, yeah. I mean, they even said at one point, it was like, they needed the look, I have my mouth. They needed the help to keep the game alive.
Exactly.
So it's like they had to get money from somewhere, and this is the route that they took. And I don't know, like, how much of this is a false equivalency, where it's just like, well, it was downloaded 4 million times on PlayStation 5, and it's like, all right, cool, but like, how many of those people play the game? Because I guarantee I'll download games all the fucking time and never play them.
Yeah.
And also, like, how many like would have bought the game for however much it cost at launch, which wasn't cheap. Like, I download games off of Game Pass and PS Plus all the time that I would never have bought. Because might as well. Like, I add everything to my library, like on PS Plus, because I can, regardless of whether I'm going to play it or not.
Exactly. Oh, my game library is chock full of games that I've never played.
Sure.
For the same reason. Yeah. For the same reason. It's free on Game Pass. I'll download it, give it a shot. Would I have necessarily have bought it if it wasn't free? Probably not.
Exactly. And like, that's cool when that works out and you play a game that you would never have played and actually, shit, this game is fucking amazing and I love it so much. But like, it's like, is that a lost sale? You know what I mean? Like, I'm trying to think of a game I downloaded on Game Pass that I tried and unexpectedly loved, but I can't think of anything right now. Sorry, I have COVID, so we'll just say, like, I don't know, like, I played Lake last year, and I was looking forward to that game, sure, but like, I did buy the game, but when it came out on Game Pass, like, if somebody had downloaded it, because it's on Game Pass, would they have bought it? Like, and then they turned out and they loved it, they played it, and it's great, but would they have bought the game without already having played the game?
I was actually going to mention Lake.
Yeah.
Because I downloaded it on Game Pass because I thought, I'll give it a shot.
Sure.
And I really enjoyed it.
Sure, yeah.
Would I have bought it if it was full price? No, probably not.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I've played stuff like that before. It looks okay. But I probably wouldn't have bought it. But having played it on Game Pass, I'm like, actually, I did really enjoy that.
Yeah. I had to do a hard handbrake turn in my analogy there when I remembered that Lake didn't actually launch in Game Pass. Like, halfway through the sentence, I was like, no, I did actually buy Lake. Oh, no.
It came out on Game Pass, but didn't launch on Game Pass.
Yeah, I picked the wrong game. I could save this. I could salvage it. And then Elfie salvaged it for me. But yeah, like, I don't think it's like the argument against piracy, and I don't condone piracy for the most part. And yeah, it's like someone downloading a game illegally is not a lost sale. It's not a 1-to-1 equation. And I feel like it's the same thing with like PS Plus and Game Pass, where it's like, I don't think a download necessarily equals a lost sale. And then there is the flip side of PS Plus, which, like, Rocket League became as big as it did because it launched on PS Plus and everybody downloaded it. So there are a lot of success stories via that as well. And it sucks that, this has clearly not worked out well for them because of things outside of their control. like the pandemic and the delay. I don't know how many more people would have had PlayStation 5s in last year. In this period of 3 months, maybe it's like 6 more people managed to get one. But it's just like stuff like this is always fascinating, like the business side of video games.
Yeah.
But you want to know what's really fascinating? This next story.
Oh yeah.
Chemical haptics could bring touch sensations like cold and heat to VR. This is from Hope Corrigan over at PC Gamer. He writes, "It's somewhat staggering how far VR has come in recent years. Household devices are by no means uncommon and cost about as much as your standard console. With rigs like the Oculus Quest 2, you don't even need a computer or cables to get that VR immersion on demand. But virtual reality is all about the big dream. It's not called virtual close to reality." Nice. "VR is about making experiences feel real in ways other mediums just can't yet. New products release all the time, like VR treadmills and haptic body kits, to try to enhance the experience. But there's just so much nuance we can't translate to digital world. However, one more reality hurdle is being aptly leapt over by a team at the University of Chicago. Jasmine Liu, Ziwei Liu, Jazz Brooks, and Pedro Lopez are developing a new kind of haptic feedback they've dubbed chemical haptics, and it sounds super cool. As well as warm, tingly, and numb. I fucking hope Corrigan. If I don't already follow you on Twitter, you're going to follow. This is fucking great. Liu's website talks about a paper that's soon to be released to the public. It shows off 2 devices built by the team which deliver liquid stimulants to the skin of the person wearing them. Hold on. I'm just going to hold this up in the air a second. They're soft silicone patches that sit on the skin and use micro pumps to pass the chemicals through to the wearer. One goes across the face, over the bridge of the nose, delivering chemicals to the cheeks. I can't hold on. Well, the other sits on the forearm. It's a very serious story. Science. I'm sorry. Oh no. I mean, I'm always looking for someone to sit on my face. The abstract explains that the team worked with different chemicals to deliver different sensations. 5 chemicals were found to deliver lasting results in safe doses, though my sensitive skin does worry somewhat. Sanshul provides a tingling feeling, lidocaine for numbing, cinnamaldehyde sounds wonderful and causes stinging sensations, and warming and cooling are delivered by caspation and menthol, respectively. I'm so glad I got COVID so I could read this fucking news story with all of these long fucking science words in it.
Well, capsaicin is what's in hot peppers.
And menthol makes a lot of sense for a cooling sensation. The team worked on 5 different VR experiences with the chemical haptics, and users rated these as much more immersive with the new tech than without. This is fucking awesome. This sounds so fucking cool. Apart from the part where I devolved into a giggling mess because I'm very mature at times. So let me relook at what they are actually talking about there. So there's this patches that sit on the skin. One goes over the bridge of the nose to the cheeks and the forearms. So you could simulate quite a lot in that. That's really cool. You could simulate rain. If you're in a game and it's raining, you could simulate raindrops on the forearms. Yeah, you could get the heat from a flame or something.
Yeah. Can you imagine if you're in something a horror game of some sort? You're carrying a candle, and you can feel the heat from the candle on your arm,
or on your face as well, the heat from the candle.
Or in say,
I got a better one for you.
VR, the ghost feeling the cold wind going past you.
Yeah. It's freezing temperatures, how can you tell? Because I'm fucking freezing. I was going to say, you're in a horror game, say a Faz, and, you feel, the breath of something on your face or something like that. Because I'm assuming, that the test patches are on the forearm and the face. But, you could release patches to go anywhere, right? Like you could
Yeah.
put them on your
Oh
shoulders,
yeah.
say for example,
Yeah.
and then like you can put them on your
Like
shoulder, and then you can
li
feel the
yeah,
on the
literally chilling on the back of your neck.
on the back
Yeah.
of your neck and stuff. Like
Yeah.
I'd die. I think if I actually put this
Yeah.
together with a horror game, I would die. Like I've played horror games
Yeah.
in VR, and it's the worst. It's
Yeah.
awesome because I love being scared because that's why I play horror games. Like I remember, I'm gonna tell an EGX story because I feel like it's appropriate here. So like, did you ever hear of Kitchen? It was years and years ago now. So there was this really mysterious demo at E3, 2016, I believe it was. It wasn't on a press conference or a show or anything. It was a thing that people who were like press who were at the event could try called Kitchen. And people would try it and they would talk about it, and there was no footage or anything. It was just people talking about like there's this fucking tech demo in VR called Kitchen, and it's fucking terrifying. And I was like, okay, sounds cool, but I'm not at E3, so I can't do anything about that. Fast forward to EGX in the September 2016, and they were doing a PSVR, like demos and stuff, and I always love going to VR demos, like to see what like cool new stuff is on.
Yeah.
And you book a slot, and you get given a random game. Like later on, you could book specific games and stuff, but at the time it was just you got a random game. I don't even remember what game I got. I remember not liking it very much, but as I was walking to the thing, because like they had these massive, like demo areas, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
I walked past and I saw this thing, and there was no TV screen, right?
Right.
It was just someone sitting in a chair with a headset on, and it was just Kitchen. And I was like, that's the thing. That's the thing. And then I went to play some fucking bullshit game. So I came out and I was like, they've got Kitchen. This is me. I've got to play this. Like, this is practically a fucking urban legend.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I was like, okay, how do I do this? So like, I think it was on the last day, I went to the VR stand, the PlayStation VR stand. Like, show closed at 6, I think. So I went like 4, half 4, because I was doing like appointments and stuff as well. So I couldn't just do what I wanted all the time.
Right.
Because I used to be press. I went as press. It wasn't that great. And I was like, I want to play Kitchen. Like there was no ifs or buts about it. I was like, I want to play Kitchen. And they were like, okay, sit in the waiting area, and we'll see what we can do. And then I just sat there to like half 5, 5:15, something like that. And then they were like, all right, you want to play Kitchen? Come on, play Kitchen. And so they took me around. And again, it was the only demo where there was no screen, so you couldn't see what was going on in the headset, like if you were just walking past or something. And I stood there, and someone was just finishing their Kitchen demo, and it was very scary. And they were having a reactions to being scared, and there was like people on the rope line and stuff like the back watching. And it was at this moment I went, maybe this wasn't such a good idea. Yeah, and it was terrifying. Like Kitchen was a demo, as it turned out, for Resident Evil 7. But nobody knew that at the time. And you were tied to a chair, and scary shit happened. And you can actually, I'm pretty sure you can download that demo now.
Right.
Like for your VR headset. I give it a try. It's like 5 minutes long.
Yeah.
And it's really scary. And I'm thinking like, and then the next year I ended up in Capcom UK's EGX highlight reel because I bullied my way in to go and play Resident Evil 7 in VR. Like there was an actual Resident Evil 7 demo VR, and you can see me reacting to that on. You could see me reacting to that on Capcom's Twitter page. And it's just everybody else goes and I go, and there's no sound, but you can clearly see what I said, and I just go, "Fuck."
Sounds about right. That's people don't do that reaction to.
Apologies to headphone users there. But it was cool. Like, and like I think to that. Sorry to like go on a rambling story to get to the point, but like VR horror games are already just on the border of being too scary for me to handle.
Yeah. Yeah, with the added haptics, it'd be yeah.
Like you imagine playing Faz in VR,
Oh,
Imagine
yeah,
playing Phasm VR when you can feel the game around you.
yeah, yeah.
Because someone's going to make me play it.
Uh-huh.
At some point, someone's going to make me
Yeah.
do these things. And one day, I'm going to die on a live stream. And I hope you're all very proud of yourselves when I have a heart attack.
But it would be so funny.
Oh, yeah, great. Yeah, thanks. It's for the stream.
Exactly.
But yeah, no, it's cool. I'm really interested. Like, it's just one of those things where it's like right now. I mean, I don't really have a VR headset right now. Like, there is one around here somewhere. I don't know where it is though because I just don't use it anymore. And I'm kind of waiting for like PSVR 2
Yeah.
to decide whether I'm gonna go for that or like a Quest because the Quest is
Yes.
obviously a really good
Question.
VR headset. But it's just like I don't know. It needs something, and I don't know what it is. Like to kick it into the next level of hype, not just for me, but I feel like in general, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Like Beat Saber's cool, Star Trek Betrayal is cool, Resident Evil 7 was a transformative experience, but like there's not that many big games on there that you would go, yeah, this is awesome. Like played a lot of bad VR games, unfortunately.
Yes. Yes.
Anyway, so we move on to talking about what is probably going to be 2021's game of the year.
Okay.
2022's game
Yes.
of the year.
Yeah. Helps you get the year right. Yeah.
Sorry, I've got COVID. Let Me Solo Her is Elden Ring's first legendary player. This is from Wes Fenlon over at PC Gamer, who writes, "It took 2 days for Let Me Solo Her to become a legend. On Monday, April 11th, a poster on the Elden Ring subreddit wrote a short post titled, quote, 'Thanks to Let Me Solo Her,' end quote, praising a player who helped them defeat Malenia, widely considered the toughest boss in Elden Ring. Quote, 'He dodged nearly all her attacks and only got hit one time,' end quote. The story didn't catch on, grabbing only 74 upvotes and a few comments, but Let Me Solo Her was keeping busy summoning in to help other players. The next post, just 24 hours later, quote, 'Here's to an absolute legend, Let Me Solo Her,' end quote, has 40,000 upvotes and counting. From Software fans have a new idol. Let Me Solo Her is the latest in a prestigious lineage of Souls players who flex their skills by fighting naked or in the goofiest armor they can find. In Let Me Solo Her's case, this means wearing nothing but a pot for a helmet. Foregoing armor is partially practical. Keeping your equip weight as low as possible in Souls games allows you to dodge rolls slightly faster and further with a better invulnerability window. Some players dedicate the weight capacity they normally spend on armor to dual-wielding greatswords or comically oversized hammers, though Let Me Solo Her favors katanas. The character name itself is a powerful statement. It's all Let Me Solo Her needs to say to their future summoner, an efficient mission statement in a game that mostly only allows communication through gestures. It also implies the player behind the naked, pot-headed warrior created a brand new single-purpose character after beating the game purely to fight Malenia again and again. Going in naked is also a statement of absolute confidence. It says that while you were partying at the Redan Festival, they studied the blade. It says that while you were hugging Fear, Deathbed Companion, they studied the blade. It says that while you wasted your time vainly choosing your Elden Bling armor set, they studied the blade. And now that your progress has been stopped dead by a battle that exceeds your mortal limits, they alone offer salvation." It's great writing. PC Gamer is killing it this week with the writing. Yeah.
Absolutely.
One poster wrote in the thread, quote, "If I see a naked man, I already know I have to do nothing. In the world of From Software, those are the scariest people," end quote. Another wrote, quote, "Clothes exist as a barrier to the wilderness, a barrier between man and the elements, a barrier between man and death. They are a sign of weakness. Shed your armor and fight like a true animal," end quote. Threads about Let Me Solo Her are now second, third, and fourth most upvoted of all time on the Elden Ring subreddit, which was established in May 2019, including one from user KleinSuboyOW, who fessed up to being Let Me Solo Her and posted a video of a fight against Malenia.
I love people like that.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It's like pot-headed, naked, katana-wielding warrior just showing up, smashing the shit out of the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. Like I love like the legends that can pop up around video games, and like there's not like the design of a lot of video games doesn't really facilitate stories like this.
Yeah. Yeah.
But Elden Ring's design does facilitate stories like this. And that's just great. Like,
Yeah.
I don't really have any like incisive commentary. I didn't fight Millennia. I didn't even go to that entire area of the game. Didn't know it was there until I'd already finished. And then I just couldn't be bothered.
Fair point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've seen it in like speedruns and stuff. So
Yeah.
I know the fight. Like, I've seen the fight.
Yeah.
It looks fucking brutal.
Oh, it does.
Have you got there yet?
No, again, I haven't been to that area yet. But again, I've seen videos of it on YouTube and stuff.
You're gonna summon in Let Me Solo.
Oh, yes.
Just be
Definitely.
like, you got this?
There you go, mate. Oh, yours.
Just salute.
Yeah. And then just sit
and then just watch. Like, yeah, you're getting like a first hand masterclass. Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
That's fucking cool. Yeah, but I love stories like this. It's great. Like, someone just doing something really weird, but it's like, you don't get this in films.
Nope.
I will admit, I did hug Fear a lot in that game.
You got to, I think you really
It's like, no, please hold me. Everybody's trying to kill me.
I need a hug.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna have to socially distance now, but like, I'll be back for my hugs.
Yep.
Oh, let's do some tidbits. There's not that many.
Yeah.
It was a really slow news week this week.
Yeah.
So, that's why we get to talk about chemical haptics and Let Me Solo Her.
Yeah.
It's like this podcast knew I was going to have COVID. Tidbits. Scarlet Nexus added 1 million new players in Game Pass, taking its total players to 2 million. So double this player count by coming out in Game Pass. It's a nice counterbalance to the Oddworld situation where it's just like, hey, like 1 million people who might not have otherwise played Scarlet Nexus. Like, I downloaded it over the Christmas break because I had intended to play it to see what it was about, like the Game of the Year and stuff, but like I didn't. Like, a lot of games. I played Ruined King instead on Keith's suggestion, and to be honest, like, I really enjoyed that game, so I can't really be like mad at myself for not playing Scarlet Nexus. But it's cool that like Game Pass can just do this for games. You know what I mean? Like, hey, here's an extra 1 million players. Cool.
Yeah.
The Witcher 3's current gen, I guess, version development has been delayed indefinitely. So, no PS5, Xbox Series X version of The Witcher 3 for a while. You just have to play the still really good last gen version of the game that's backwards compatible with the consoles. Like, I get that, like, making improvements to games to release them on like current gen consoles is cool.
Yeah.
But like, we're in a situation where it's not like when PS4 and Xbox One came out. Like, we can play all of the PS4 games on our PS5s.
Exactly. And is the improvement going to be really that much difference between the two consoles?
Sure.
I mean,
better frame rate, maybe some slicker graphics.
Yeah.
Like, they're not going to change like the things that The Witcher 3 would need to be like updated with. And I know I'm committing a fucking sacrilegious crime by saying it has flaws, but like if you change the movement of the combat, maybe it's not necessarily the combat, but the movement specifically is like, or like fixed Roach's AI, and it's like that. Those are fundamental changes that aren't just like, hey, we've spruced up the game for the PS5. That's like, no, we actually remastered the fucking game because we changed how movement works. It's just like, they're not going to do that.
No, it's going to be the same as Skyrim, the next generation release for Skyrim, which was just graphical improvements.
Yeah, which is cool. Like, do that, sure, but like, I'm not really that fussed if that doesn't happen when I can play the game. Like, I'm a big proponent of like video
Exactly.
game
You can still play the
preservation. So
Yeah, you can still play the game.
yeah. What we got? BioWare says the next Mass Effect is now in early development. I mean, that's a fucking meaningless statement.
Nice.
But great. Do you remember when
They've
you
got
were?
storyboards. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. Oh, we drew a carrot. We drew a picture of Liara.
Yeah.
No, I think like early development obviously is referring to like they're actually working on
Yeah.
the game in some capacity now, as opposed to they're probably prototyping it as opposed to
Yeah.
planning it.
Yeah, exactly.
But guys, hey, BioWare, you remember when you revealed Dragon Age 17 years ago? You revealed Mass Effect last year. I think. Was it last year or was it the year before? It was a while ago, and you're telling me it's only just now entering early development. Oh, we're going to be waiting forever for this game. Stop doing this. Please.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
going to freaking get me hyped for a game I'm not even going to be able to play for another 6 years. Like,
At the earliest.
yeah, right?
Yeah.
Bastards. Take your time, though, because... what's that meme? I want. I can't remember the meme, and I'm not even going to try and remember it in my current state. Something video games. QuakeCon will be digital only again this year. Makes a lot of sense.
It does. Yeah, it does.
I think America is like, this is the 5th wave
Yeah.
of COVID, and it's just like, we're just never going to let this like run its course, right?
Yep.
We're just going to keep fucking it up.
Yep.
And COVID is going to kill us all.
Yep.
Man, you know what's really scary though? Actually, no, we're not going to do that. We're not going to theory craft the doom of humanity. In the tidbits section of a Words About Games podcast. So we're going to say, cool, can't wait to see QuakeCon. I think most stuff probably should be going digital because we are currently in the grips of a pandemic that is, again, getting worse.
Yep.
Halo Infinite's concurrent player count on Steam drops below Halo the Master Chief Collection. It's going well, guys. You're doing a good job.
Yeah.
Halo Infinite's in this really weird spot where it's like that game, like Moody said this when we talked about this a few weeks ago, and I agreed with him to a point, but it's like the realities of business versus the realities of game dev, where it's like Halo Infinite was not ready for, it was ready enough for release, but it shouldn't have been released when it was released. Like the campaign was fantastic. The multiplayer is really good, but you can tell they've been scrambling for like content, like to keep the multiplayer going. And what is it now? April. So we're like 5 months away, like from when it came out, and not much has changed. Like the new season just came out for Halo, and that's like season 2. So like from launch to now, it's like it's been the same season. And then things like co-op, the campaign co-op's not ready. Forge isn't ready. There were like game mods, like, and I haven't played it for a while, but at launch there were like game mods that really should have been in the game that weren't in the game, and it's just like,
You need a bit more time than different before it's.
Yeah, like the game itself, the core game was fine. It was brilliant. Like it was perfect. It felt incredible to play, but the content surrounding it in the multiplayer, on the multiplayer side, just like, it was one of those release it and we'll fix it later. And unfortunately, there's another Halo game that people can just play.
Yeah.
And it seems like people are. Like, I don't know, like if I ever like had the itch to play Halo, I don't know that I would open up Infinite, or if I would open up the Master Chief Collection and just play Halo 2, or like 2, 3, or Reach, like one of those games. Part of that's nostalgia driven. But then I think like the grappling hook is really good. Like,
I'm not saying anything about a run button. Please
don't. I've got COVID. Yeah, the grappling hook is like I said it in the when me and Moody talked about the game in the review, and I was like, it feels like it's new, and it feels like it's always been in the game. Like it's just that's how it feels like. Master Chief has always had a grappling hook because it feels like he always should have had a grappling hook.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, hopefully they can turn it around. We've seen live service online games come back. Look at No Man's Sky.
Absolutely.
Last tidbit, Sonic the Hedgehog 2, the movie, has the best opening weekend of any video game movie ever. Sonic the Hedgehog 2 is the best video game movie of all time. By numbers, anyway.
According to my nephew, definitely.
I mean, you know what? Joe Medforce was on the podcast last week. He did a quick review of it. Go check that episode out. That was also episode 300. Thanks for bailing on the 300th episode, Moody. And he knows it. He knows I don't mean it. And like he really loved it.
Yeah.
So I might have gone and check it out, but I'm kind of trapped in my house now.
Yeah,
I mean, I'm not like that's. I mean, I'm not really. I can go out and do things and infect the world with COVID if I really wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. So.
Exactly. Yeah. Because you're sensible.
In
this regard, anyway.
Thank you. I was like, am I? Really? Is that a word we can use to describe me? I decided to do this podcast where I do the lion's share of the talking for 2 hours with COVID. I'm not sure that was sensible. Games out this week. We'll do that. On April 19th, Winter Ember is coming to PC, PlayStation, and Xbox. Winter Ember is an immersive stealth action game that casts you into the role of Arthur Artorias, the Faceless Man. Step into the shadows and uncover a mysterious plot that saw your family torn from the history books. On the first night of winter, you unsheath your blade and seek vengeance. Then on April 21st, you know what? I'm just going to read the game names. I hope nobody minds. I don't want to read all the descriptions. My throat is not holding up. On April 21st, we've got Teardown coming to PC. A game called Godlike Burger. Yes, Godlike Burger coming to PC. A game called Lila's Skyark coming to PC and Switch. A game called Lumo the Master Mode Chronicles coming to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And a game called MotoGP 22, which I guess is self-explanatory, coming to PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and Switch. And lastly, on April 22nd, a game called Scabma Snowfall is coming to PC. Go and check out the Steam store pages of all of those games. I'm sorry to all of those games. I can't read all of that out.
I can hear your voice going.
Like, I have COVID. I'm sorry. This would be the time where we would do Open Critic head-to-head, but the game we did last week doesn't have a score. And there's a lot of indie games coming out this week, and I don't trust Open Critic to have scores for any of them. So we're going to bank that and do a double header when there's like two big games come out. So sorry, everyone. I know, like, I always say, like, everybody gets to play when you come on the podcast, but unfortunately, you don't get to play this week.
Oh, that's fine.
I'm going to say you specifically, do you want to do a quick check-in on Fantasy Critic? Because we've done one for a while.
No, we haven't. And I need to log in because I haven't logged in for a while.
Yeah, I'm finding that issue myself.
Yeah.
My phone is currently acting as my as my light on that side, as you can tell when I move it. So I'm logged in on my phone. So.
Yeah, I got it up here.
Who's in the lead?
You are currently in the lead with 72.53 points.
Yes, I know.
Jammy Bugger. Followed by Feyworld, followed by me.
Jammy. Skill.
With Joe trailing behind. Closely followed by Moody. And with poor old Loxtail coming up last.
Yeah, we've got no bids in. Yeah, so I'm looking at it now. Obviously, Elden Ring carried you to heights.
Oh, totally.
Which absolutely. We all knew was going to happen.
And Moss Book 2 carried me as well. Martha is dead. Did a little bit of damage, but not a huge amount.
Could have been a lot worse.
It could have been, yeah.
I'm trying to think. I'm trying to look. Yeah, Locksail got knacked. Well, he didn't really get knacked by his counter pick. It only gave him -3. Like I just said, I said to Moody once, like I had to take a -3 on a counter pick. Like,
Yeah,
well, that's
yeah.
fine. Like,
Didn't think better than that.
because it can go spectacularly worse.
Oh, yes.
As Locksail himself found out the first year we did it, and he got like a -26 because he was a dumbass and he counter picked Half-Life.
Ooh.
I know.
Yeah.
Ruined it. Still had more points that year than he did last year.
I've got one more coming out this month, which is Nintendo Switch Sports, so I'm keeping my fingers crossed for that one.
Yeah, I've got Dorf Romantic coming out. Like, I picked that game
Yeah.
up because they announced the release date. It's a pretty cozy, chill game. Like, I like to think I could get like maybe another 10 points out of it.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's a league history button. I'm like, well, yeah, let's go through like the things that have happened, but how? I can't remember them. There's a button. You can push the button.
There
And
is.
it tells you what happened.
There is. Yeah.
Keith picked up a bunch of games.
Yeah.
He picked up both of the Supermassive games that are supposed to come out this year. Moody got really angry at me because I beat him to Pokemon. He was so angry.
Oh,
I saw the thing come up.
Yeah.
I saw the thing come up because, like, obviously in this new version of Fantasy Critic, like, you can see the bids. You can't see like who's bid, and you can't see how much they've bid, but you can see if a game's been bid on by the end of the week. And I was like, Pokemon Scarlet and Violet turned up, and I was like, well, that's got to be Moody. Should I try and should I steal it from him?
Evil.
Yeah, no, it was purely motivated by I'm gonna take this game from him for all the times he's annoyed me. Yeah. I'm gonna take Pokemon. And I did. And he was like, oh, well, at least I got you to overspend on it. And I was like, I spent $2 more than you bid for it. I'm not so confident on my...
Ooh. Sorry, I've just seen that Joe still got Breath of the Wild 2 on there,
Yeah,
which
you
will
can
not release.
You can drop that whenever he wants, though.
That's true.
Yeah. I was a bit more generous with the drops this year than previous years.
Yeah.
I always end up having to delete games for people. And it's just like, you know what, but I'm sticking to my guns. You've got 4 drops this year, and that's it. If 5 games get delayed, that's your own fault. I mean, it's not like, it's not one's fault.
That's good.
Okay, I've held on for as long as I can.
Yes, you go get them.
I'm gonna go and lie in a bath.
Yes,
for the next 3 to 5 days. That's gonna do it for episode 301 of the Words About Games podcast. Thank you very much for watching. If you've watched, thank you very much for listening. If you listened, thank you for joining me, April.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.
Don't know what kind of experience that was for you. Probably wasn't the one you were expecting, though.
Never in.
Good. Because I'll probably have to ask you back in the near future. This is where I log off, and it's like, oh, that's weird. Elf Daughter seems to have blocked me on all social media platforms. That's weird. I wonder why she's done that. Oh, what a fucking experience. What a day. What a day. What a day.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get out. I didn't turn my lights on. Never turned my lights on. Shit. I'm supposed to... Oh well.
You've got COVID. COVID brain.
I've got COVID. Sorry. Say bye, Alfie. Oh, wait.
Hi, Alfie.
Wait, where's everybody going to find cool crafting videos? On YouTube?
On YouTube, YouTube/user/elfdaughter. All one word.
Hell yeah. Elf Daughter on YouTube. They're great videos. Very cozy, very relaxing. Okay, now we're done. Say bye, Alfie, for real this time.
Bye, Alfie, for real this time.